Bonjour, and welcome all you comic book geeks, readers, and collectors. You know these ones are for the hardcore collectors, but it might be a little bit more of a broad subject. What I would like to get into today, because courtesy of Paul at Comics and Fantasy in Hornchurch, Essex. Hello, Paul. He has sorted me out with some wonderful early Marvel UK. Before it was probably called Marvel UK, all it was publishers buying the rights to Marvel characters. In this case, and this was after, what were they called? Smash and Pow and Terrific and whatever in the late 60s. So what I've just basically purchased is an early run of Mighty World of Marvel. These are all played before they went all glossy in the mid 70s. And these I wouldn't be buying these when I was of this age, because he's 1972 and Spider-Man was 1973. But look at this, fantastic. And I know it's all British reprints. Where I've been a collector for decades, it's funny how in the past few years these books have suddenly, and they're only reprints of all the early Marvel stuff. You can imagine what they're reprinting. You know, the Lee Ditko stuff. Look, with Spider-Man, and repackaging it. But what I'm going to do, what I normally don't do with these back issue hauls, is do a deep dive. Is have a look inside. But these do warrant just a quick look and a quick comparison, showing you a few. Oh, here we go. Craven the Hunter. Look, March 1973. This is what a generation of Marvel fans in the UK would have been latching onto, including the Mighty World of Marvel that preceded Spider-Man. Look at this stuff. You know, this is what, look, there's everything in here. Hulk, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. Look, you don't get better than that. Look, imagine a TV advert going diddly-dee-dee-dee. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, join me after the scroll, because I'm going to do a slightly different format. And what I'm going to do is show you how, using these, because obviously I haven't got the originals of the first dozen issues of the Lee Ditko Spider-Man and the first 6 issues of the original Lee Kirby Incredible Hulk. And if I did, would I be getting them out to flip the pages over and compare it to the artwork inside these reprints? Probably not. So I've got these Marvel Masterworks instead. I've got the Hulk one, and I've got the Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Fantasy and Spider-Man one. So what I just want to do is only a few pages. It's not going to be a long one, so you haven't got to rush out to the kettle and put a cup of tea on and get ready for one of my long ones. That's what she said. I'm just going to do the deep dive on this stuff and just show you what the art editors and that were trying to do, to bearing in mind that you're taking the 4 colours from the American comics and translating them into not only a wider format, a different page count, but you did not have 4 colours. At best, you had 1. That's all I'm going to say. And if that hasn't intrigued you, then you can do one now. But if I have intrigued you, please join me after the scroll. Okay, guys. So via this collection, or these two acquirements, Mighty World of Marvel. Look at what year we're looking at. Look, 1972. This is how the UK Marvel audience would have been built this is the first generation. So forget America, forget all the original American comics. this is how the English audience would have consumed Marvel. And suddenly, look, the one colour stops. I love it. And all of this, what I call zipper tone, I'm sure there's a different word for it, but at least what the art editors were trying to do in these comics, look, even the lettering, someone has applied that effect to it, and then someone has had to colour in like a dark green or a lighter green or a background in green, and someone has had to apply. And I know we're talking about the Hulk, so it's quite appropriate. But look, here we go. Look, a picture of Stan. Look, hold everything, gang. I hate to interrupt all of the zingy excitement of this issue. And it's obviously a competition that's been running, and they've taken this picture from somewhere. But these will all be names of people that are buying the comics. So what they're trying to do is get that same excitement going that was going on in America at the time, you know, with the Merry Marvel Marching Society and all that. And here we go again. Look, for some reason they can print green on that side, but they can't on this side. And then they can print green on that side, but not on that side. But nevertheless, they can apply this weird effect, zipper tone in the background. Someone would have had to cut that out around the shape of, is that Rick Jones? Yeah, I think that's Rick. But anyway, all these shapes here, someone would have to apply all of this zipper tone to this comic, and the colouring would have to be applied. This wasn't from the US. I mean, I love the fact that Fantastic Four, they carried on the green, that they didn't even change the colour. Anyway, so what we'll do is what I want to show you guys is how in the early 70s in England. I mean, I don't know where this cover would have come from. I don't know. Again, I'm assuming this is original art. I don't think that was a cover of anything by anyone in any of the US comics, you know, whether it was Tales to Astonish or anything. And how basic was Lee and Kirby's storytelling back in the day. Very wordy, and for the writing, and too much dialogue, and very loose. I'm not saying I'm not saying this is glorious. What I am saying is we do forget how this the early Marvel stuff developed from very basic beginnings. So look at this, guys. So this would have been like, you know, these are the Marvel masterpieces. So in 4-color, this would have been a lot more subdued. This is a lot brighter. But what I'm trying to get to is the fact that the art design team, I mean, what happened here with this line that isn't there in this issue? You know, someone took the time to kind of square that off. But was that missing from this? I don't know. What's more interesting is what goes on in the second page. Because if you look, so the first page was reprinted more or less, well, exactly. Look at the second page. They've done away with that. Now they're formatting the storyline. And look again, look at the zipper tone that they're using, and the colours. Obviously, they're colouring in the soldiers. They're leaving Banner blank, colouring the soldiers again. Zipper tone in the background, but that is the first panel of the second. That is the first kind of, or the first 2 panels of this page. Look, that they're translating. And do you know what? I'd never noticed it before until I bought this collection in from Paul. And thank you, darling, for that. Thank you so much, Paul. As always, Comics and Fantasy, Hornchurch, Essex. I'd never noticed how much formatting there was on this. So, oh, there you go. You've got him holding his finger up there, look, and it's there. And that there. So they've cut off. So what they've done, and then we've got, yeah, those 2 there. And then obviously in these pages, sorry, I'm not used to doing it in this way. So again, what we've got, those 3 panels reprinted there, but it's not, is it? It's just that panel, and then it's that panel. Like, what you know, that panel's changed. That's not, that panel is I'm free. So they've just reformatted it enough. It's that, and then that one, and then yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm getting at, gang. But they had to do that because of the, obviously the reformatting issue from the you know, that this kind of size page in an American comic to this side. This was the traditional size page in a British comic in the 70s. So that, you know, that is literally what they had to do. So I just found it really interesting that that's what they did, and that but someone was applying themselves to each page. Here we go. You know, this is kind of like a literal translation, but someone has had to, you know, someone has zipper toned in the Hulk just to give it a bit more impact. You know, they can't give him green, but they've decided to go green in the background and zipper tone it so it's white, grey, and green that they've used there compared to. And I don't know, I just think they've done a fantastic job. That's why I'm showing you. That's why I'm showing you guys this stuff, and I can remember this kind of stuff, not in these particular issues because I've bought these as back issues rather than a reader at the time. I will admit that. I'll put my hand up to that. So you've got the original Kirby Hulk, and then you've got the glorious Lee Ditko Spider-Man. And again, this zipper tone weren't there. Someone's applying it, and obviously the Vulture weren't green, and different times, but good times we was getting. And every now and again you would get, look, for some reason suddenly we have got all of the colour all of the colour of the American comics, and it's the classic. This is the classic stuff, you know, the stuff, like I say, the stuff that a whole generation would have grown up with. Now we've got the early FF, so it is the Lee, Kirby and Ditko show. And to be fair, in the early 70s it probably still was, wasn't it? It probably still was the Lee, Kirby and Ditko show at the time these were being reprinted. Then again, I suppose that FF stuff was probably 10 years old by that point. But you know, the mighty world of Marvel. Again, look how much bang for my buck, or for my 5 pence I would have got when I would have only been 5 if I was buying these at the time. I started getting them in the mid 70s. Again, the early Spider-Man stuff is great. It's just great stuff. And this would have been week after week. So I'm getting Hulk, Spider-Man and FF every week. Here we go. Every single week. Now I don't know how US, please let me know in the comments, like how you guys in America, and I know I've got a few fans in America and I love you all, you know I do. Let me know like how these are regarded, and I know they're probably more of a curiosity, if I'm honest. I'm imagining. I mean, I've never seen this kind of stuff before, but when you've got all of these characters in one comic, you can't contain it with just reprinting. With reprinting just one cover. I'm pretty sure that is the reprint of a cover. But like I say, this stuff is, It's just gorgeous from, you know, 73. So what are we talking about? 51 years ago. And now, so I've got a cover here that is a little curiosity, and I will show it to you now. And it's this one, and that is, this issue stands out amongst all of them because that is an original Jim Starlin cover that you won't see anywhere else. So if you are a Jim Starlin fan, you want issue 20 of the Mighty World of Marvel, early Starlin, 1973. Yeah, I got, you know, the mind boggles to think what he was doing at the time in America for everyone and entertaining millions. But original Jim Starlin, Daredevil, and they've obviously introduced him into the gang. Here we go, just more covers. I know this is obviously a back issue haul, so I've got to show you the covers, guys. Just forgive me for a little bit. I don't know whoever drew that. Look, that's pretty crap, isn't it? And so is that, to be fair. I mean, I don't know if they changed art editor at the time, but some of it. But like I say, these are just. And here we go. Again, zipper tone, one colour of ink, and away we go. Obviously, green does suit Hulk. I love all the pin-up pages and stuff, but they don't know. But you know, there was a few things they were doing in the early days. Oh, some Buscema, early Buscema Hulk now. FF. Oh, is that when the thing? Oh, look, here's some Doctor Doom. Look, early Curb. Look, brilliant. It's excellent stuff. But on to Spider-Man Weekly, which would have followed Mighty World of Marvel about 6 months later, obviously. So the issues that they're reprinting here aren't obviously from issue. This is issue 2, but they're not reprinting from Spider-Man or Amazing Fantasy issue 1 because they've already done that in Mighty World of Marvel. So again, I just want to show you guys what it looked like in proper colour. So that's what it would have looked like in the proper comics. And the work they've done, what I can't get over is the work someone was doing to kind of give an effect. Like, there was no need to put that effect on the suit unless someone thought that, yeah. And obviously, in the original, the hat is a different colour to his head or mask, whatever you want to call it, his costume. But here, they've kind of made it a continuous, which I think is quite interesting, actually. And the gloves. Singled out the glove, and why they've done the end of the gun, I don't know, in the same colour. Anyway, they've got the red of Spider-Man. But this, the Enforcers, was issue 10. Yeah, was issue 10. So, and again, just to give you one more little example of how they was translating. And I mean, it's translating, and they've kept the motif of this red here and the red at the band of the hat from the first page. I mean, it's obvious that you're going to keep to the red motif of Spider-Man, but because he'd been in Mighty World of Marvel, they've started with issues like, you know, 8, 9, 10 kind of thing. So anyway, I just thought that was, well, I hope it was of interest to you guys. So I will just show you a few more of these marvellous covers before I go. These would have obviously been our art assistants and I don't know, interns doing some pencils or cutting up panels out of the comics. And you know, I can't think of when. Is that a copy? Let me know, guys. Get in, but please let me know if you recognise where these kind of panels come. Was that a panel in the comic? I mean, that seems quite a leap forward with Craven. No, it isn't. Is it Craven? It was Ditko, yeah. Oh, look, J. Jonah Jameson and Craven. Look, wonder if we're going to get any of this kind of style in the film. Daredevil's back in his old outfit. more Craven, Sandman, Thor. You know, the old Kirby Thor, and you know, Loki. The Loki shenanigans. Here we go. Look, Loki in the dark, in the zipper-toned shadows. The day Loki stole Thor's magic hammer. Look at that. In 1973, would it have been? Yeah, 1973. And this is all the classic stuff. Look, Thor with his hammer, Green Goblin with his bombs, Sandman. One Scorpion. Oh, the Beetle there. I mean, I don't think he ever made too much way, nor did Lava Man. That couldn't have been a great issue. Oh, but anyway, guys, listen, I hope you've enjoyed that quick trip down memory lane and how the English publishers were trying to translate the four-colour glory of early Marvel. So until next time, thank you for bearing with me so much if you are still here. Thank you to my sexy subscribers. You know I love you so much. If you're new, welcome. And if you stayed this far, you must be mental, but you know I love you. And until next time, I will bid you all adios.